Oh. Oh. Ah. Ooh. Sorry, I've never sat in this rocking chair and tried to make a video before, so it's totally weird to be able to go forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. Okay, but I didn't want to make this video just so I could show you what it's like to sit in a rocking chair and look at someone's face as it gets closer and farther away from you. No. The point of this video is something a little bit different. Okay, so unless you're brand new to YouTube, if you've been here for even a week, then through the grapevine, you probably heard somewhere that YouTube has tightened their belt on its monetization policies. And by tightened its belt on its monetization policies, what I mean is it has been going on a rampant unmonetization spree, just unmonetizing all kinds of videos from people. Some people have seen a loss of revenue for 6 or 7 videos. Some people have seen almost all of their content completely demonetized, deemed unmonetizable by the gods at YouTube. That means they're not making any money for the hard work that they're putting into their videos for you. Some videos have a pretty high production value and they're not making any money on those videos anymore, and that's a bad thing. Now this whole fiasco has to do with YouTube's advertiser-friendly content guidelines, and for the most part, I can tell you that I agree with most of these guidelines. YouTube is not the place for you to put porn and extreme violence and blood and gore and things like that. I get that. You don't want to have that kind of stuff accessible on YouTube for the world to see. Here, let me just read the first bit for you right here. Content that may be acceptable for YouTube under YouTube policies may not be appropriate for Google advertising. Google program policies provide additional guidelines for what can be monetized, and advertisers also have their own standards and requirements for content. And I'm going to get to that part in just a second. But I want to read you the part that troubles me the most. So here we have content that is inappropriate for advertising. Let me read it to you if I may. Content that is considered not advertiser friendly includes, but is not limited to, sexually suggestive content including partial nudity and sexual humor, violence including display of serious injury and events related to violent extremism, inappropriate language including harassment, profanity, and vulgar language, promotion of drugs and regulated substances included, selling, the use and abuse of such items. Now this is where it gets weird. Controversial or sensitive subjects and events, including subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedies, even if graphic imagery is not shown. Even if graphic imagery is not shown. Now this whole thing kind of sucks because there's a lot of channels that their whole thing is that they report on the news and they report on what's happening in the world. I'm not talking about drama channels like Drama or That Guy's a Head Case. I'm talking about people that really report on real events. Like the Young Turks have been affected by this in a very negative way. We've got Philly DeFranco. He's been affected by this in a really negative way. We've also got Boogie298. He's been affected by this in a very poor way. And so this is actually reaching out and affecting content providers who have been around for a long time and who are big content providers who have a large fan base and who are YouTubeably relevant on a daily basis. They're being affected by this. I get the need for people not to say foul language in their videos. You don't want to hear F-bombs. You don't want to hear the word shit, bastard, and piss in the videos because you don't want kids to find that. That makes sense, but I think that that's down to the content provider to be aware of who his audience is and who is watching the videos that they're putting out. And YouTube can't really regulate that kind of thing. In other words, if you're a parent and you see your kid watching PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye, just know that they're going to hear an earful of profanity in that video. 9 times out of 10. No, scratch that. 10 times out of 10. Ears full of profanity. Again, that's down to the content provider and the parents to make sure their kids aren't seeing things that they deem are inappropriate for young ears. Now let's go back to the part where it says, and I quote, advertisers also have their own standards and requirements for content. What that means is actually the advertisers can opt out of certain videos based on what they think is in them. They don't want their ads associated with certain content. So in response to this, here is my answer on how to fix this debacle on your channel. going forward with all your future videos, what you're going to want to do is avoid using words that advertisers may construe as controversial and deem unworthy for monetization in your videos. You're going to want to avoid words that are controversial in your tags, descriptions, and titles. Because YouTube doesn't know what is actually in your videos except for what you tell them is in your videos with your tags and titles and descriptions. For example, you're going to want to avoid words such as murder, rape, suicide, death, cadaver, things like that. You're probably going to want to avoid putting any of those words in your tags, titles, and descriptions because the automated bot systems that crawl through all that metadata find them and go, nope, that is not good for advertisers. They're not going to want to use this, and they're just going to go ahead and unmonetize your video. So you really need to be careful what words you're using to describe your video content. Listen, we all work hard on this platform. Some people have a very high production value, some people don't have a very high production value, but who am I to say whose videos are not good enough for monetization? Look, I'm just a small YouTuber and I don't make any money off of my videos, and I don't think that I will in the near future because there's so many people on YouTube trying to make a face and a name for themselves and make some money that I'm just one face in a million, and there's a lot of people who are a lot more talented and a lot smarter than I am on this platform. I do this because YouTube is my way of leaving my mark in the world and saying, I was here. I existed and I did some stuff, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, and YouTube is kind of like a little bit of a legacy. It's also a place to leave my history, it's also a place to leave my thoughts, and it's also a place to entertain people. It's like this big mix for me, and they're all equally as important. But am I making any real money off YouTube? The answer to that is no, I'm not. But that doesn't mean you're not, or you're not going to. And I really want to see you have the full potential that you can have from YouTube. And part of that is when you start making money off your videos, you can put that money back into your videos and raise your production value of your videos if you so decide to. And I really want to see you make that money. And one of the ways that you're not going to lose your monetization is if you avoid these words and avoid controversial words in your tags, description, and in your title. Do this, and I promise you, you will see very little, if not none, of your videos flagged as unmonetizable when you go to make your videos. Also, don't copyright people's content because that makes them unmonetizable too, but that's not really the topic, so I didn't want to bring it up either. Anyway, that's all I really have to say today. I did have another video planned for today. It would have been a regular vlog and it was supposed to come out, but I decided to push it back because this topic is actually important enough and it's gaining enough momentum and it's affecting enough people that I figured I need to talk about it. And I know that if you watch my content, there's a good chance that you yourself are a YouTube content provider and maybe you've had some videos of yours demonetized since this, or maybe it won't let you monetize a few videos since this recent change. And I just wanted to be helpful and useful to the people that watch my videos, and this was my way to chime in on this topic and also be a little bit useful. If you found this video helpful at all to you, please leave a like and don't hesitate to leave me a comment and tell me your experience with this whole fiasco. I'd be interested to know exactly how it's affecting you. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet and you made it this far and you think you might like to see more of my face, then go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and we put out videos on this channel almost every day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!